Welcome to IceTime.TV, and I'm delighted to be joined by David Sims, or Di Sims, as you are to be known for 7 days, I believe.
Only if £100 comes this way. But, we'll see if the guy turns up tonight.
Oh, we'll track him down, but we know who it is. So we got our eyes on him. David, you're here tonight, an evening with. You're here to entertain some Devils fans, raise some money for the junior programme.
Yeah.
It's a long old off-season. This must be something you very much enjoy, going around different places when you're asked to talk hockey and get away that off-season boredom.
Well, absolutely, because I hate the off-season. The off-season is a killer. The garden has to get done and all the regular, you become a regular bloke again, don't you? But yeah, these have just happened over the years. Manchester was the first one. They asked me to go and do it, tell some stories and have a chat. And it depends which rink you go to, how it turns out. You're an older audience here, so it's going to be a bit more. And I've already done one. I did one for Jared Adams a couple of years back, and it's a bit more debate, a bit more argument, a bit more challenge, a bit more debate. Where perhaps you go, I did Guildford, it's a lot more stories. I did Basingstoke, it was a lot more stories. You do Manchester, it was a lot more political because, the heartache of being there to the Elite League. I did Hull a week after we went to conferencing. So you can imagine 2 hours was vehemently fighting that. So the one thing I can guarantee is I'll be outstandingly good tonight. Whether the night is successful depends on the audience that turn up. And if they feed back, if they come back with good questions and we can debate properly, then it'll be a great night. And if it's half as good as the night we did for Jared, it'll be a great night. And that's why it's interesting coming back a second time. I don't normally get invited back too many places a second time, but let's give the ball a kick. It's a fabulous room, a fabulous facility, and I'm sure we'll be good.
Talking about the facility, is this your first time visiting? Now it's all up and running? Or
No, I came. The last time Sheffield went to that hole over the road, and I brought my matches. Todd dragged me across here, and we had a good look around, and it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Worth the wait, because it's proper, and you can just imagine 3,000 toughs in here going absolutely crackers for the Devils. Yeah, I would imagine the atmosphere will probably be more like the old rink rather than the old rink. And the facilities, I would imagine Paul Sullivan's having no sleep. He's like a kid at Christmas, thinking of the screens and the gizmos that he can play with. The atmosphere that will be created in here is special. But what it does as far as the league's concerned, the Flintstones. What it mentioned Paul Sullivan and Flintstones turn up. What it does, it cements the Cardiff Devils' position as, again, one of the big boys in British hockey. And that's, I think, one of the things we'll talk about tonight. Right up here, because of the special tenancy agreement you've got here, when this building is full, you become as powerful as Nottingham, as Belfast, as Sheffield. And that's where I'm sure you lot want to be.
Absolutely.
And in fairness, wearing an Elite League hat, it's where we want you to be as well. So no, this is great for Cardiff, but it's great for the league as well.
Speaking of the league, you mentioned 4 teams there. You've got Braehead as well, who are always up there challenging towards the latter end of the season. Is it the first time that the Elite League has had a genuine 5 teams that could win the league?
No, because that was true last year. And it was true last year. It was always true last year. Stop thinking that you're a small town club. You've been listening to Todd too much. He would like to give you that message that we're not quite a Sheffield, a Belfast, a Nottingham. Baloney. You are, because of the special tenancy deals that you've got here. You're right up there with them. And Cardiff, Sheffield, Nottingham and Belfast are equal second favourites going into this league title. Braehead will be the favourite, as they should be, because Braehead should win it every year. So you're right up there this year, as you were last year, as you will be next year. This place makes that even more so.
It's 30 years anniversary of the Cardiff Devils this year. When you went to Sheffield all those years ago, can you think of a moment where the Sheffield-Cardiff rivalry kind of started for you, if indeed there is a Cardiff and Sheffield rivalry for you?
Absolutely. God, crikey. Yeah, no, certainly there's a rivalry. Yeah, I can tell you the exact moment, in fact, that Sheffield, it involved Tommy Plummer and it involved Stephen Cooper and it involved us being at the Old Barn in Wales, a packed out night, the Steelers, the Devils chasing the championship like we have been in recent years. and a game that the Steelers had to win that night. And Tommy Palmer pulls a great move on Stephen Cooper, makes one of the finest defensemen our country's ever seen look a bit of an arse on that night, and he goes in and he scores a goal, which won us that game in Cardiff, which then really was the big game in winning us a league title, I think back in '96. So I think for me, that's where it started. And then every battle in that rink, in that tip over the road, has been a battle. So there's a massive rivalry. Sheffield and Cardiff are the two names. I mean, I'm an estate agent in Birmingham, and if I go into people's houses and say, name me an ice hockey team, you know what? Most people wouldn't be able to, but those that can, I bet you a third of them say Cardiff, because Cardiff's still the name. It's still a big name. Unfortunately, Belfast is big in Belfast, but isn't anywhere else. Nottingham's big in Nottingham, but perhaps not thought of elsewhere. Sheffield, perhaps more so. But Cardiff is still that name because of all those years ago. And you know, with Killer coming in and your new ownership coming in, that means you've got an outstanding opportunity now to take off the bridesmaid's dress and become the bride, you know, and that's what, obviously that's what we're going to try and, we're going to die trying to stop you doing that, and that's what you want to do, and that's what sport's all about. But no, the Steelers and the Devils have had a rivalry going back, you know, all that time, and as you've had rivalries with Coventry, and as you've had rivalries with Nottingham and other clubs as well.
One Devils player that was never in a Steelers shirt, you would have put in a Steelers shirt in a second?
Well, actually, the one that did make it, but only for a handful of games, was Vez.
Yeah. And his mate, don't forget his mate.
And his mate, Casello, wasn't he? Yeah. You can tell that deal was done on deadline date. I'll come, but only if I can bring my mate with me. So he would have been the one. I mean, back in the day, I was a massive Doug McEwen fan.
Yeah.
So smooth, so skilled. You know, I saw Stephen Murray play his first game over here. He was playing for Fife, of course, and Solly Hall went and played up there, and he was playing with Al Sims, I think, at the time. And yeah, he was always a player I liked. But McEwen was always I liked him wherever he's played, and also he's a thoroughly decent chap, isn't he? And,
absolutely.
So I've always liked him. I never bought the Voth one, maybe because I didn't think perhaps Voth would have been as effective in a Sheffield, in a Nottingham, as he would have been in a Cardiff. I could understand why all you lot get crazed about him, and rightly so, absolutely rightly so. But Killer wanted him in Belfast to such a point that he actually put Voth's logo on the front of the Belfast shirt for about 4 years. But yeah, so I never kind of bought into the whole Voth thing. But yeah, McEwen, I'd say, if I could have taken anybody at the time. Yeah, at the time.
Fine choice, fine choice.
Yeah.
Now, I can't let you leave because my colleague, John Donovan, has a bit of a campaign going to get the old logo back on a shirt this year for the 30th anniversary.
Which is the old logo?
The Styx logo in the back there with a V.
So, I like that logo.
So could you have a word with Killer for us and try and get that 30th year?
What's Killer's beef about it? He doesn't like it?
We don't know yet. We haven't really taken it. We're just going to garner support, and then we're going to go and knock his door down and try and get a shirt on.
That's the Lawless logo, isn't it? That's the Shannon Hope logo. That's the logo kind of we grew up with, I guess, in our hockey sense. And I would imagine, you know what, everybody's excited now, aren't they? I mean, you say 30 years, but it doesn't matter. You're like a kid in a toy shop here because you want that new season to start. Yeah. You want to see Lord kiss his badge again because it's only happened 4 times in the last 33 games last season. So, you know, everybody's excited for it all to start. And that's why events like this tonight, and it's why we're, you know, this isn't a 32-week business anymore, is it? It's a 52-week business. And all good, all good.
Well, David, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Enjoy this evening. I hope you get your debates and your stories and a good time, and I hope we raise some money for the juniors as well.
Well, that's the whole purpose, isn't it? That's the whole purpose. If this annoys us, I don't know if the camera can pick this up. This annoys the living hell out of me. So there's ice time. There's kids wanting ice time to play, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people on the ice. Figure skating. Waste of ice time. The kids should be out there now, shouldn't they? Come on, Killer, have a word.
Well, we'll end on that note, I think. David, thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy this evening.
Cheers.
And we'll see you shortly.
Is Gareth by birth or just in the last 2 weeks? No.
It's just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence. He must be thrilled.
Thank you very much for joining us on IceTime.TV. We'll be back throughout the off-season with more interviews with Cardiff Devils players, Cardiff Devils management and players from around the league. Thanks for joining us.